Froch versus George Groves. A lot of talk's been going on about this fight recently as to whether it will happen or not. I actually believe it can happen and probably will happen. And then the argument is it worth pay-per-view as a fight by its own? No, I don't think it's worth pay-per-view because, to be quite honest, George Groves has fought nobody in the top 10 bar James DeGale to warrant fighting for a world title and to be a mandatory challenger. Get out of here. But I'm not saying that George Groves hasn't got potential. I'm not saying George Groves couldn't become one of the best super middleweights in the world in a couple of years' time. I'm not suggesting that for 1 second. But for right now, nah. In the opposite corner stands a man that has fought the best fighters in the world back to back in the Super 6. The only thing about this fight being made that is a slight concern is that maybe at this age, at 35, Froch could be shop warm. However, for me, I envision this fight as this. I see, George Groves trying to fight. I can't see George Groves coming forward in this fight. I can see him off the, trying to pot shot off the ropes and, trying to throw shots and keep out of the way of Froch and give him angles. That's what I suspect is going to be the way this fight will go. And Froch will be the guy trying to make the fight. And I think the first time Froch really lands heavy on Groves, he'll be on his back foot and running around for 12 rounds. Or try to run away, like the way he did against DeGale. But I can see, for me, the far more experienced fighter closing the range down against Groves. You may take a few rounds to do it. So rounds 8 or 9, I can see him closing the range. George Groves running out of steam and Froch ending it spectacularly. I'm not too sure about George Groves' chin. As you know, he got dropped by Kenny Anderson, and I don't think he's been near anybody since that remotely can punch like Kenny Anderson. And Kenny Anderson, to be fair, is not the fastest super middleweight in the world. By the way, where is Kenny Anderson? Anyway, so those are my thoughts. I think if it's a pay-per-view fight, I would personally make the fight on the undercard of Hay versus Tyson Fury. Then it could be pay-per-view as a chief support to Hay versus Fury. Let me know what you guys think. That as a standalone, nah, wouldn't sell. Well, it would sell, but not as pay-per-view. But as David Hay versus Tyson Fury as a pay-per-view, yeah. And then there's a chief support. I think then you've got the fans to pay for that as well. 2 cracking fights on one night, and you've got 2 guys from Haymaker, David Hay and George Groves. So, yeah, that's all I really wanted to say about it. But you know how I feel about the fight. I think it's Froch by knockout late. Let me know what you guys think. I'm out.